Oh. Okay, so we are going to make these drawings, okay? So the first step is to open this public document. So you're going to click on this. And then we need to make a copy. So right up here where it says this document is view only, we need to make a copy. So click on that. You can name it if you want to. Change the name, put your name on it, something. So now we have our own copy of this part to work with. All right, so now we're gonna hit the plus sign over here on Onshape and create a drawing. So we're gonna add a tab, create drawing. Now, when you first, see mine says recently opened, yours is gonna probably be blank the first time you open it. So if you just go up here and click on Onshape, and then click on ANSI to make sure the one you wanna pick is ANSI A inch. And that is just the template for the paper. Then it automatically opens up this dialog box. So ANSI A inch, you have to remember to click on Onshape if it hasn't gotten one yet. Now we're going to use this dialog box to insert a front view of the universal joint flange. Remember, we don't want to click on the part studio. We want to click on the actual part. It's a front view with a scale of 1 to 2. So up here, if I was to click here, that would be trying to just put in the whole part studio. So I need to come down here and just pick the part. And then it's a front view, but I want it to be a 1 to 2 view scale. And then you just click to place it. And then it automatically gives you, it's ready to place either the side view or the top view. Right, wherever you click next, it'll place that view. Then it automatically switches over to projected view. It used to be right here, insert view. And while it's on projected view, you can click on one of the views and do another projection of that part. You can also then click on it and move diagonally, and you can get this isometric view. Okay, so what were we were supposed to do? Change scale 1 to 2. Doodly-doo. So we want to put a top view, a right view, and an isometric view. We did that so far. So then we're going to toggle off that tool. So we just push the button to turn it off, or you can hit escape. Then we want to right click on the isometric view and select view properties. Right click, view properties. We're going to change the view scale to 1 to 4 and then accept. So here's the scale. We're going to change it to 1 to 4 and then accept. Then we're going to change the isometric view to be shaded. So we right click and then show shaded view. Then we need to show the hidden lines and change the tangent edge display to be phantom for the 3 orthographic views. So hidden lines and tangent edge phantom. That'd be a good band name, Tangent Edge Phantom. Okay, so for these, you just click to select all three, then right click and do show hidden lines. And then select them again, right click, and then tangent edges phantom. I always like my tangent edges phantom. Just sounds like fun. Now we are going to right click on the drawing tab and rename it to Universal Joint Flange Drawing. So instead of drawing one, right click, rename Universal Joint Flange Drawing. Enter. Now we are going to add some geometry markings. So we got center marks at the centers of these circles. The circles that are facing us, we need to put center marks on. So the center mark tool is here. And you use it just by clicking on the circle and it'll put a center mark at the center. And then also one for the center of the big circle. Then we've got some circles facing us over here. All right, and that looks like all the circles that are facing us straight on. These circles here are on a circle center line. So what you can do is pick either one of these circle center line tools. The 2.1, you click on the center, and then one of the points, this one, you just click on 3 of the points that are on the circle. So if I was doing that, I would just click on the 3 centers here, and it's going to make that center line circle there. Then we've got center lines for these holes that are cylindrical. So anytime you're looking at a cylinder straight on, you need a center line. So there's a couple ways to make center lines. Here's the 2-point center line. So you can say, all right, I want to start up here and then go down to here. Did that work? Okay, this one probably works better. Instead of 2-point center line, edge to edge, so you can just tell it where to be in the middle of. And then what you can do, since this doesn't extend all the way through, you can exit out of that tool and then select it and just stretch it so that it extends out past the end of that cylinder. This one. Side to side. And then escape, and then stretch it out a little bit. Side to side, side to side, then escape and stretch it out. All right, so now we've got our center lines in there, our center marks, and our circle center line there. Then we are going to use the hole call out tool. Because we use the hole tool, they use the hole tool to drill these holes. So on the video, it was part of this drop-down menu here. But on my version, it's just its own button, the hole call out tool. So you just click on the circle that's part of your hole, place that. And then remember how they wanted you to do a prefix and they said to like right click, but I guess this is a newer version because it just gives you this little thing here. And as soon as you hover over that, it gives you all this place. Like here's your prefix. So I would type my 4 times and then space. This would be like if you had a suffix, you want something at the end, and this is just like a general note at the bottom. So there's that one. And then the other ones, that's a hole. It's these little holes, and that's 8 times is my prefix there. Eight times. Now I've got my whole call outs. We want to put a diameter dimension on this big outside circle here. And if you're just using the regular dimension tool and you click on it, notice how it's only highlighting an arc. It's only going to give you the radius dimension. So I'm going to hit escape because I don't want that. I have to go down and use the diameter dimension if it's something that the computer is going to interpret as an arc. So there's my diameter dimension. Where else? I got a diameter. I can use it down here on these guys, or since those are actual circles, the regular dimension tool will work on those. But you can, that has a diameter, that has a diameter. And then I'm just going to switch to the regular diameter tool to measure between these things. The regular dimensioning tool to dimension like these linear stuff. So just regular dimension tool. And then you can do it by clicking center to center, or you can just do it by clicking circle to circle, and it'll measure center to center. Now, this is a complex part, and you would really need to put a ton of dimensions on this to really explain everything, but we're just kind of going to learn how to do some of them. So let's put these dimensions that they're showing us to do. 6 inches in there, and so the overall height from the top to the bottom, and then from the 2 most narrow inside parts. And then we have some dimensions to put on this view. We already did these diameters, but the width here and the angle there and an angle down here. So the width, you would just go that side to that side. To do the angle, you just click on like that line and then another line that you want to measure the angle between. And then there's another angle measurement down here. And then once you have all your measurements, what you want to do, once you have all your dimensions that you want to show, is you want to try to escape from your measurements with the dimension tool. You want to like adjust things so that it's easier to see, right? So for one thing, I might want to scoot this guy over a little bit because this dimension's kind of in the way. And then again, this one's like a whole little paragraph. So maybe I'd rather have that one up out of the way a little bit. And then I can change where this thing is pointing, and I can say, instead of pointing at that circle, just point at that circle because they're the same. So I can kind of move that around. One thing that I've learned is that they generally like you to move your leader lines so that they're not perfectly flat or straight, so that they bend a little bit. So that, because I don't know, looks neat. What else? How can I make this a little bit easier? I feel like I have too many dimensions over there. This one, let's see, maybe I can go like that. Then they're a little close to each other. So you just want to kind of space it out so that it's not quite as busy. So then if you'll notice, like zoom in on the little, it automatically preloads the name of whoever's doing it and the date that you're doing it and the part that you're doing. So that's kind of a fun thing. Now let's see what else is next on here. Oh, that's it. So let me show you what you're going to do when you're finished with a drawing and it's time to turn it in. What you're going to do is you're going to right click on the little tab down here. And the one, remember, same place where you would rename it, but instead of renaming it, we already renamed it, we're going to export it. So I'm going to click export, and then format is PDF, that's cool, and then just hit export. And then it'll tell you it's getting it ready, and then you'll get one of these little things down here on your internet pop-up thing once it has the thing ready. It'll download here. So then you click on it, and here is your PDF. So when I request you to turn in a drawing, you're gonna do that export PDF thing, and then it already has your name and date on it and everything. And that's how it goes.